Hi, and welcome to my Sting slash Flashfire build tutorial. The Sting has so many different builds that you can do with it that I'm only going to be talking about the build that I use the most. Um, but really, there's a ton of them that are really good. So I'm going to go over my component choices for my preferred playstyle. Start with Burst Laser Cannon with the armor penetration and hull damage. Armor is kind of a must on Burst Laser. It's just why it's one of the reasons it's really good. And as for hull damage, I prefer once you get them low, you want to finish them off. You want to hit them with that big burst. So that's why I always use hull on my lasers. So with cluster missile, I use the extra ammo talent and double volley. Now, if you don't find you're running out of ammo ever, go ahead and use the range. But for me, I do run out of ammo, so I run that double volley. With I use targeting telemetry. For the fourth talent, I use threat evaluation, which just gives you some extra evasion. With targeting telemetry being up so often, this just makes you all that more tankier with all that evasion. And the must upgrade for targeting telemetry is precision targeting, because that extra crit damage and the 10% crit chance is what makes this ability so good. For the shields, I use distortion field with the missile break on it. And for engines, I use barrel roll with turning. Now, engines are kind of where a lot of players disagree on the Sting. And honestly, I think even with this specific build, you could use any of the four engines and that would be fine. It's really player preference, so you can try them out and try what you want. But for my style, I like barrel roll. For armor, lightweight armor, just stacking as much evasion as we can. I use range capacitor, as this makes my burst lasers more accurate. And honestly, using damage capacitor doesn't really often end up killing faster because of how burst works. Because you're firing in large bursts, you're basically going to decide between a 4 to 5 shot kill, and damage capacitor doesn't usually change it. So it'll always be 4, even if you have damage capacitor, for example, or always be 5 on specific ships. So the range capacitor just gives you that little bit more accuracy to land those shots. And you can shoot from further if you need to kill mines or whatnot. I use large reactor for the extra shields. And for thrusters, I use regeneration thrusters, because with barrel roll, you need that extra engine power. For crew, offensive, I use Lieutenant Pierce. This gives us extra ammo capacity and the weapon accuracy. Now again, if you're not running out of ammo, you don't need that ammo capacity, and you can go ahead and use JSA for the extra firing arc. This will help you land more missiles and give you a little bit more shots with burst lasers, but I like that extra ammo. For defensive, I use Vector, just stacking more evasion and getting us a little bit of shield power. For tactical, I use Mako, and this gives us sensor radius and communication range. I'm not huge on the sensor bonuses, but honestly, I use it because I use Mako as a co-pilot for the running interference co-pilot ability, because I really like all that evasion. For engineering, I use 2VR8, which gives us the efficiency on both blasters and engines, which just lets you shoot and boost more, which is what this ship is really all about. So if you're starting from scratch on a Sting, I'm going to go over some purchase orders to get these components. So the first thing I would buy is burst laser, then barrel roll, then light armor, then large reactor, and then range capacitor. Now, it's important to note that you probably want to pick up the upgrades on barrel roll before you even buy some of the other components. You want to get to that second point in barrel roll very quickly. Now I'll go over the upgrades. So, as I said, upgrade order. First two upgrades you want 2 in barrel roll, then 2 in distortion, then 1 in cluster missile, then 1 in targeting telemetry, then 1 in burst laser for that extra damage. Alright, from here, master distortion, which is a big jump, but this missile break is very important. Alright, then you master light armor, Master Regeneration Thruster, Master Large Reactor, Master Range Capacitor. Now we're going to put that second point in Cluster Missiles. We're going to put 4 points into Burst Lasers. Going to Master Targeting Telemetry, Master Barrel Roll, then finish off those Burst Lasers and get that hull damage, and then Master Cluster Missiles. So that would be your upgrade order. Now the Republic Flashfire has a few different crew choices because they're a little bit different on both sides. So for offensive, we use Kira Carson. For defensive, Nadia Grell. For tactical, Kendra Novar, which is also your co-pilot for running interference. And for engineering, Yoon. That gives you relatively the same passives. I think the sensors might be a little bit different, but again, that's not a big deal. And that's my build for the Sting. I'll have a gameplay video up that you'll be able to see me use this exact build and how I use it, and I'll talk about different things you do with it.